And welcome back to the broadcast. The last segment, we call it Kipindi cha Lala Salama. That is very interesting and it revolves around your life. It's important that you pay attention to this particular session because it will go a long way in helping you to maintain that healthy look, that physique that you'd always want, and psychologically also goes a long way in ensuring that you are stable. So welcome on board. And joining me for the same is Emily Wahome, who's a nutritionist and a wellness coach. Emily will be telling us of the tips that are very important towards maintaining that healthy or daily healthy being. It's very important that you are part of it. And hashtag morning cafe at Linda_Lela TV47KE. So what exactly is being well? On a daily, what are the daily things that you're supposed to do to ensure that you're fit physically, mentally, and you just get yourself doing it well without having to strain in terms of prices and all that? Because every other time we're talking about keeping healthy, there's that fear of it's a bit expensive to have your veggies, to have your broccolis, to have your what. So you tend to overlook the importance of staying healthy. So daily tips, of course, Emily will be taking us through that. Emily, thank you so much for finding time for us this morning. And when we're talking about healthy habits, when we're talking about the nutritional aspect, sometimes we tend to overlook the aspect of physically being fit. So what is the connection between nutrition and, the physical aspect of, going out there and exercising that would come in handy towards making you be healthy?
All right. Thank you so much, Linda, for this. And thank you for having me this morning.
Yeah.
Health is quite important because absence of health, then it means you're unwell or you have disease. And you're incapacitated or you're not able to do your daily duties, which really impact your life negatively. So actually, this is a very important discussion that we're having this morning.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to nutrition and diet, it's actually the one that plays a very big role in overall health before you even come to physical activity.
All right.
Because in the absence of good nutrition, physical activity is actually not important because you even need energy to perform that exercise or to move. We need glucose in our body to be able to make movement.
Yeah.
So really, when we talk about daily healthy habits, nutrition is actually number one. Nutrition and diet is number one. And I think the question that we should be asking ourselves, we have a wide variety of foods. And in Africa and Kenya, we are blessed because we have wholesome food that we get from our market.
Yeah.
Or if I'm a farmer, I have wholesome food that I get from my farm.
Yeah.
So really, I think the question is, what are these healthy foods? What is a healthy diet? I think that's what, Linda, I would want us to speak about when we talk about the first
step towards healthy habits.
Is your diet or your nutrition.
Yeah.
So basically, maybe what I can say, what constitutes really a healthy diet is basically, we first start with what we call whole grains. So in Kenya, I think most of us are very conversant with ugali, for example. That is a staple in most of households. I don't think a week will go without a household actually having ugali in their menu.
Right.
So if I'm taking this ugali, which ugali am I taking? Unfortunately, you find that what is accessible to us probably is what we have packeted in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that packeted one has already been removed some of the very important nutrients that I may require. And what is already packeted is not whole.
Yeah.
I'll just explain a little bit why it is not whole. The maize, because of the preservation, we wanted to have a longer shelf life. So the manufacturers actually have to process the maize a little bit so that they can stay for a longer time on the shelf. So they remove the outer covering of the maize, for example.
Yeah.
And this outer covering of the maize is what contains what we call fiber that you need for, first of all, satiety.
Right.
That you don't have to eat a very large portion of ugali at the end of the day, because when it is whole and it is loaded with fiber, you eat
small
less.
Portion is enough.
Yes, the satiety comes a little bit faster.
Okay.
Then there's a germ that is at the middle of the maize that contains what we call essential fatty acids and other vitamins, but it is removed.
Right.
Because then if it is left there, it doesn't stay for longer. So for me, the healthy ugali is the maize, the whole maize. If I have whole maize and I take it to the posho mill, I come back with it home and I prepare that ugali.
Which most people don't like.
Yes. That is, they don't like it because they're not used to it. We stopped eating it when we left the village and came to the urban places, and therefore I don't like it. But that is whole grain, and it's whole ugali. And those of us who eat it, we know you can't eat a large portion because of the fiber content that is there. So that is an example of whole grain, or what we call whole meal. Whole grain, whole meal bread, not brown bread. Whole meal, there's a difference. That is whole grain. So when we talk about health grains, we talk about whole. And they have their own benefits. When we talk about having vegetables and fruits, because I'm sure we all know we are told to have a variety of fruits and vegetables every day. Why do we require to have a variety of fruit and vegetables every day? It is because our bodies needs vitamins and minerals every day. Because vegetables and fruits give us what we call micronutrients. And we have, our bodies don't store, especially what we call the water-soluble vitamins for long. So we need to replenish every day. If I take fruit on Monday and the whole week I haven't taken, it means that I'm depriving my body from vitamins and minerals that are very important, especially for our immune system. And right now we are talking about COVID and other infections. We need to build our immune system. So I need a variety of vegetables and fruits every day, and actually if possible at every meal. You see? And these vegetables are available in our markets. They're available. I can have a kitchen garden. If I have some space, I grow them for myself. Right now people have even moved to innovation of how I can even grow my vegetables in my balcony, in the urban centers, which is quite interesting. So I don't have to complain that probably the vegetables are very far away from my reach. So you see, when it comes to vegetables and fruits, it's actually also very, very important for us to know that. So basically, scientists or even WHO say, for me to be healthy, I need between 3 to 5 servings of vegetables every day.
Which to many, I would argue is a little bit expensive, especially looking at the hard times that we are facing right now. And even, the habits, the time habits that we have today. Like, for instance, I was here very early in the morning at 4. So just how best can we incorporate this discipline? And one, overlook the aspect of the fact that this is expensive and try as much as we can to balance. If not get the 5 servings, then at least get something that is going to come in handy to balance the nutrients in the body, and most importantly, the aspect of time.
All right. So I think it is very important for you to look at your schedule of work. Because again, if I forget completely about my diet and nutrition and I'm just working, my body will stop at some point because I will get unwell. So as much as we are working, I need to look at my schedule. I may not have time to take breakfast early in the morning if my day is very early. But in the morning when I wake up to around 10, do I have some time that I can slot from my breakfast? And what am I going to have for that particular breakfast? What am I really going to have? Is it just a cup of tea and a toast? You see, that is just tea and a carbohydrate, and most of the time we are having the highly processed. That's what we do actually. The highly processed bread. Now, what happens is that now you have to keep snacking, because if you take just a cup of tea and toast, you realize before even 2 hours are over, you're hungry. Why? Because that breakfast does not contain any fiber. Fiber is the content. Is the food content that will allow you to stay fuller for longer. That breakfast does not contain any aspect of protein. Whatever makes you stay fuller for longer is protein and also the fiber content in the food. So if you're having a breakfast that at least has a protein, like one egg, like one boiled egg is a good example. Just try it. You'll find that if you take breakfast, for example, maybe at 9, you will go all the even up to 1 p.m. without having a hunger pang, because the protein takes longer in the process of digestion to digest and also to be assimilated by the body. But the carbohydrates, especially when it is a simple one like white bread, goes directly as to your bloodstream as glucose, and then your body goes back into a hunger pang, and you have to keep snacking. You have to keep looking for mandazi, for samosas, and most of the time when you are hungry, you are looking for a quick fix, and most of the time you look for something high in sugar to quench that hunger pang, and that now eventually will impact on your health.
That's how dangerous are these sugars that we're talking about, because most cases that's what you're doing. Even when you're snacking, you find that you get yourself into biscuits. You know, it's more of carbohydrates, more of starch than anything else.
What I would say is that daily health habit is deliberate. It's not something that just comes. It is something that you have to make a decision and be conscious about. Everything good in your life is, let me say, it's uphill. You know, something simple. If you want to be healthy, if you want to have a good body shape without excessive fat, then you have to sacrifice something. And you have to be deliberate. So when it comes to sugars, there is that sugar that we add. For example, if I'm taking my tea, there is that sugar that I will add to my cup of tea. Now, the worst is even the hidden sugar, or the sugar we take without even having in mind. So when I go for a beverage, for example, I go for a juice, I like a packeted juice, I have no even idea how much sugar is in that juice. Sometimes you find actually it is so much. If you investigate, you find it is too much. And how much are you taking in a day? There are people who do not even like taking water. I'm coming to water later. So every time I feel thirsty, I go for a glass of juice, I go for a glass of soda, you know, or another caffeinated beverage, you know, which has added sugar. So you find by the end of the day, from morning to evening, if you calculate the amount of sugar you've taken into your system, you'll be very surprised even seeing like you have like 30 teaspoons of sugar into your system. And the other thing you need to remember about sugar, actually everything that we take in, the end product, it will be in form of glucose. And more so when it comes to the quality of the carbohydrate we are taking, the grains that I talked about. Are they whole or are they refined? If they are refined, some of them are even added sugar in them as they are being processed. So that is very important for us to understand. All
right, before we come to water and all this, let's just talk briefly about timings and how you take some of these meals. Because honestly, one would argue that, you know, I remember there's a time, this is funny, but you know, it's absurd that my dad used to tell me that, you know, when you take a lot of sugar, make sure that you take a lot of water and make sure that you take a lot of salt. So when they get into the stomach, there's that balance, and boom, they really are not going to affect you. I don't know how logical that is. I don't know whether it's just a myth, but yes, we also have very bad eating habits. For instance, one would say, okay, you're told that eat breakfast as a king, so you wake up in the morning and you eat almost everything and you're extremely full, and you go the entire day without having anything until maybe later again in the evening at around 8 is when you eat. The timings, how crucial are they towards ensuring that, you know, you have a healthy habit?
All right, thank you, Linda. Timings actually are very important. Because, for example, like the example you've given, if I wake up in the morning and eat almost everything, it is true I'll get full. And especially if I have vegetables in that breakfast and I have a protein, I can actually stay full for a long period of time. And the other thing, as we talk about things, by the way, the other thing is this food that I'm eating, where am I taking it? What kind of a job do I have? If my job is sitting on such a seat throughout the day, and I'm taking too much calories, or I'm taking too much food, how am I using up that food? So there's the aspect of your job.
What are you doing?
If I sit in an office almost throughout the day, and there's another person who is a footballer, there's another person who is going to the farm, there's a person who is going to the mjengo, we are different. And that's the reason why we usually say nutrition is individualized. As a professional, when I'm doing a meal plan or a diet plan for a client, there are very many other considerations. It's not just have ugali and have whatever. Even the portion size that I'm going to give them is based, first of all, on the work they do, their daily physical activity. So even as I decide my breakfast or my lunch or whatever, it is important for me to look at the activities I have for the day. If my day is a sedentary day, I'm not moving a lot, I don't need all that much food on my plate, because then I am not active, and therefore I don't need that much calories. What makes us put on a lot of weight most of the time is because what we take in does not come out. You know, it is about input and output. If whatever I'm taking and what I'm taking out, there's a balance, then I will not find myself having a problem with putting on a lot of weight. So we come back to that issue of timing. Now, what happens when you go for long periods without food? By the next time you're having food, your body is already on a starvation mode. You're extremely very hungry. What happens to that is that your body sugars keep going into a dip,
Okay.
And then because now you're very hungry, like I have not had lunch. The first thing when I get home, I'm very hungry. For sure, if there's juice in my fridge, that's the first thing I will reach for.
Sure.
Why? Because my body is asking for sugar.
Yeah.
I'm in a hunger pang. It is very rare that I will go and start preparing ugali and vegetables when I'm very hungry.
Yeah.
Or when I get into a supermarket on my way home and I'm very hungry, I will reach for a chocolate because I first need to satisfy that hunger pang.
Okay.
So when you go for longer hours, first of all, without eating, you end up eating the unhealthy things.
All right.
But when you time your meals, when I don't have a hunger pang.
Right.
Therefore, if I reach home and I had my lunch, I'm not so hungry, or I had a handful of nut at 4 o'clock, and this is something I can carry with me, even in my lunch box or in my bag. I have a handful of nuts. By the time I'm getting home, I'm not so hungry. So I have even time to prepare a healthy dinner for myself. If I came from home without having breakfast, for example, and I've not even carried anything to the office, I will go for the next thing that is available at the tuck shop or at the canteen. And what is at the canteen? Most of the time it's soda, or if there is tea, it is tea and chapati or tea and mandazi, you see? But if, for example, I was not able to take breakfast at home and I already prepared what I'm going to have, I carried, for example, my boiled egg, a fruit, I carried my smoothie that I made from home, 100% fruit. You see, now when it's time to take breakfast, I'll be taking a healthy breakfast.
Nice.
So timing is very important. When you go for more than 3 hours of not having food, most of the time you'll get that hunger pang. And for sure, you will go for something that is very sugary to quench that hunger pang before even you go for food.
I'm sure
and
most
you will
of
also, and you'll also overeat because you're very hungry.
All right, and most of the people must be pleading guilty, like I am pleading guilty. It's like, sometimes you get home and you get to junk, and before you know it, you're not even able to have a healthy meal. That is very true. Temperatures and the mode of cooking, because now we are talking about a daily aspect. And sometimes you find that, I've also been told this a couple of times, that you don't come from taking hot substance or maybe tea instantly and to cold water. I don't know how true that is, and I don't know how dangerous that is. But sometimes also you find that you've carried food and maybe you don't have a microwave, so you end up taking it cold. Sometimes, you take foods that are, supposed to be at least on normal temperature, and you have them extremely hot. So what are the dangers and what are the goodness of ensuring that you have the foods on the right temperatures, and importantly, you use the best ways of cooking or preparing?
Okay, when it comes to how you prepare your meals, it's quite important. And maybe I start with that question of temperature of your food. When you're eating food, maybe what I may say, that may not really affect really the nutrients at the end of the day. But if you're eating cold food, there is your food that is supposed to be hot, you're eating it cold. There's aspects of sometimes contamination. For example, if your food was not properly handled, you are at higher risk of contamination than that person who eats it when it is hot. When it is hot. So there are different ways in which we have in the market some lunch boxes that you're able even to connect to a socket and warm your food. So if you carry your packed lunch, probably, and you don't have a hot pot, you can look for other ways in which you can be able to keep your food hot at lunchtime. When it comes to cold water or hot water, I think for me that is a myth. It doesn't really impact. Whether I take hot water or cold water, it's more or less the same. It doesn't really impact my health in any negative way, unless, for example, I have a common cold and I need to keep my body warmer, or the temperatures are extremely very cold and I need to keep my body warmer. Maybe such instances. But then on a normal time, if I choose to take cold water or another one chooses hot water, at the end of the day, we are both taking water, and it figures like the same benefit.
Modes of cooking, very important.
When it comes to modes of cooking, different foods need different timings for cooking. Like, for example, when you look at our vegetables, they are loaded with vitamins. Vitamins are damaged by very long cooking. By very long cooking, you find that most of them will then go with the heat. So that's the reason why the reason behind not overcooking our vegetables. Cooking them, like once I do the onion and it's ready and I put them, we do between 5 to 7 minutes of cooking those vegetables. And also there is an aspect of covering them, because the water soluble vitamins, some of them will be lost with vapor as I cook. So once I put them in my pot, I cover them and simmer them for the 5 minutes, and they are ready for me to eat. But you see, some foods have to cook for longer, like meat. It is dangerous for me Yeah. When I am out my grains and legumes like beans, if I don't cook them properly, actually they'll also give me issues like of flatulence. You see, so when it comes like something like beans, I have to cook them until they are soft and well cooked. But now when it comes to vegetables, I have to ensure that I'm not overcooking my vegetables, so that then I can benefit from the vitamins that's in the vegetables.
All right.
So that is quite crucial.
Okay, well, we'll leave that aside and talk about water now that you mentioned it. How crucial is water? Just how important is water? Most of the times, again, another myth or argument is that most of these people who sell water would put this mentality that you have to take 8 glasses, so you keep buying water from them. It's more, it looks like it's a business affair, but really there's no need of people taking so much glasses of water. Just tell us how important water is for our bodies.
Because we are still talking about daily healthy habits, and we're just from speaking about food and diet. Diet is very key. Water is another healthy daily habit that we cannot just forget about this morning. Now, I have met people who tell me I don't like taking water. So I ask them, what do you take? When I feel thirsty, I take juice, or I take soda, or I blend juice, or I take this or that, or I take soup, or I take tea. There are many other beverages that you can take. Okay, at the end of the day, they'll give you some water content. I am not refusing that. But look at it this way. If every time I feel thirsty, I'm having a glass of juice and it has this amount of sugar, first of all, I'm adding to the amount of calories I'm taking that day. That is number one. If it is a caffeinated drink, at the end of the day, if I'm looking at hydrating my body, I may not actually be really hydrating. I may be going more to the side of dehydrating than hydrating. Now, water. First of all, water plays a very key role in the digestive system. When I take my food, the transport of nutrients all the way up to assimilation, up to the cell, because that is where our nutrients go. They go to the cell so that they can benefit my body. In the absence of water, that process will not be as efficient as it is. And just try it. Just try one day to go without water the whole day. You even have a headache. Why? Because your body system, your physiological body system requires water to perform in a better way. Our cells need to be hydrated for them to assimilate nutrients, for our body functions, all the body function, even including excretion. Why are we always complaining of bloating and constipation? One of the aspects is lack of hydration, lack of water. I'm not taking enough water, and therefore when I go to the toilet, I can even take up to 1 hour. We shouldn't struggle to pass our stool. If I am taking enough water and I'm having a diet that we've just spoken about, of vegetables that now will give us the fiber, and even the whole grain gives us fiber, then I will not have a problem in my bowel movement. Yes, when it comes to just general health, you feeling energetic, feeling healthy, most of us struggle even with a healthy skin. Hydration is one of them. Hydration, your skin cells need to be hydrated. When you're dehydrated, your skin also dries up. You start finding your skin is drying up. Even when you apply the lotions we apply, they're still not working. Your skin is not looking supple and succulent. For us ladies, that is very important. Most of us want to look beautiful. We want to look beautiful. We want to look glowing. We want to look succulent on our skin. The secret is water. The other thing, most of us are also very interested with weight loss. How are you going to burn fat when you are not well hydrated? You see? So when it comes to weight loss, also water plays a very big role because first of all, your digestion will be efficient. Your cells will be assimilating the nutrients properly. Therefore, even the issues of malnutrition, especially when it comes to micronutrients that we've mentioned, the vitamins and minerals, you will not find yourself having those problems. So what I can say is that mostly in the profession, we usually say the amount of water that you need to take is dependent also on your weight. The heavier you are, the more water you need, by the way. Because the heavier you are, the higher metabolism becomes. But basically, we usually say for a standard, any adult should take not less than, we usually take, now we are saying it in liters, because when you say a glass, there are those glass that for tots, very small ones, there are these ones that are this size. So when I say a glass, it's a bit confusing. But when I say 2 liter, everybody will understand. If I have a 2 liter bottle and I take it throughout the day, then that helps me. And also when you're taking water, It's not I take the 2 liters of water in the morning and now I am
And that's
settled.
it.
I have taken all my water.
Okay.
If you want water to benefit you, you keep sipping throughout the day. Because if I gulp water, if I take 2 liters of water right now, all
will
of
be
it
full.
down,
First, yeah.
I'll be full. And then I'll take it, all of it, at the same time to the toilet.
Yeah,
you see?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to keep sipping throughout the day so that my body is hydrated throughout the day.
Okay.
If you don't like plain water, I usually tell people you can add lemon, a slice of lemon, a slice of lime in it to maybe sweeten it.
Uh-huh.
But let water be your friend. It is part of a healthy daily habit.
Easier said than done, do you?
Yeah, it is
2
possible.
liters. Do you take 2 liters?
Even more.
Wow.
It is deliberate. You see, it is deliberate.
Yeah,
Like when
you make a
when I
choice.
wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is take water.
1 glass.
So right now, I've already taken not actually 2, not actually 1, 3. Yeah, because I woke up at 5 a.m. The first thing I did is take 1. Then after some time, I took another 1. As I was coming out, I took 1.
Wow.
Yes, if you're driving, have water in your car. Keep taking as you drive in the traffic. Even if you're not driving, put it in your handbag, as ladies.
Yeah.
I know men don't like carrying around bottles. Have one in your office then. Yeah, if you have a
Once you get
dispenser,
there,
the
yes.
first thing when you reach in the morning, fill it up, that bottle, sit with it next to your desk. When it is there, you will not ignore it.
Yeah.
But you keep it very far away, you
won't
will
even
not remember.
I
So
agree.
everything that is good is deliberate.
Wow.
Yes.
I woke up at 3.
And it
I've
is
not
worth
taken a
it.
glass. I've not taken anything. I think I need to adjust. That's pretty
Yes.
much
You need
unfortunate.
to hydrate.
I need to. Now, speaking of which, switching, for instance, adjustments that we're talking about, getting to that point where you only take 2 glasses, to that point where you take 8 glasses or you take 2 liters. Health adjustments are not so easy.
Yes.
So how then do you adjust to these healthy habits? Because in most cases, well, we do it out of ignorance. But when you meet a specialist like we have in this session today, there's someone who's watching you and probably would want to adjust,
Yes.
and have their eating habits well. They have their daily habits, healthy habits, health habits well. So how then do you adjust? You just wake up in the morning and boom, you switch to this side, or there are processes to it?
Yes, I know it is not easy to adopt a daily habit.
Yeah.
Even for us professionals, I cannot pretend that everything is easy. And actually, health goal, for most people I've spoken with, I'll meet very successful entrepreneurs, very successful doctors and lawyers, and they are so successful in other areas. But when it comes to the health goal, it's actually very difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
It's a difficult goal to achieve. But yet, Linda, when you look at it, it's actually the topmost goal for us to achieve. Because without health, let's agree that we cannot be able to achieve anything.
Yeah.
Our health is our wealth. So when it comes to habits, I usually say consistency is very key.
Yeah.
Consistency is very key. And you don't expect that you wake up just like tomorrow and you're having these habits consistently.
Right.
And also you will keep falling. But even if you fall, rise up. Don't now say give up. I can't do this. Keep rising up. Keep telling yourself that I can do this, and start small.
Yeah.
So if I was only taking 1 glass of water every day, why don't I go to the second one? Gradually. Why don't I go to the second one?
Yeah.
After a short period of time, I go to the third one. I'll find myself, by the way, when you are used to taking water and go for a period of time without taking water, then you feel it. Like now, since I came here, around at 7:30, I haven't taken water because I forgot my bottle. I always carry a bottle of water.
Yeah.
I can already feel that I need to take water.
Wow.
Because your body is used to hydration. You see? So when you start like that, after some time, it will become a habit. And a habit, if you want to get a good habit, just do it consistently for 21 days.
Okay.
It becomes a way of life. You never struggle with it
All
anymore.
right, it will be automatic.
It becomes automatic. It becomes part of your system. If the first thing you do when you wake up is drink water, I'm telling you, don't even have to think about it. It
It'll
is
be
in your,
straight.
it is just in your system.
Wow.
And when you step out of bed, the first thing is you head to your kitchen and take a glass of water because your body is used to that. Yes, so it is possible.
Right.
But of course, we have said that anything good is uphill and also is deliberate. So if I want good health, if I want a beautiful skin, if I want a healthy body, if I want to be energetic and vibrant, it doesn't come easy.
Yeah, you have to work for it.
There's a price to it. Yes.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
the hardest of them
Yes.
that is declared as a daily healthy habit, but is the hardest of them, exercise.
Yes. Exercise, physical activity. I think the reason why it is hardest is because most of us think when someone tells me to do exercise, I have to go to the gym. I think that has been the mentality that we've been having. I have no problem with going to the gym. I have done it and I do it once in a while, but not all the time. What I usually tell my clients after I meet them, or my professionals, my friends, my family, is that if you want to achieve in this area of physical activity, do something that you love doing. If I love cycling, a bicycle, for example, you know, that's a hobby, something I love. I don't even struggle. I just come after work, I pick my bicycle and I start riding. You know, that is a form of exercise. If I have a sport that I like football, and I have friends that I play with, when I come from work, why don't I go and play that football with them? But sometimes when I have gained excessive weight and I want to lose it, then that one, when I'm working with you, I'd have to tell you, then we may have to have a particular program when it comes to exercise. Because again, you know, we don't gain weight overnight, we gain it progressively. So when it comes to weight loss, we lose it progressively. I cannot gain weight over a year and I expect to lose it within 1 month. It is not possible. It is step by step. So when it comes to physical activity, I usually tell people, do something that is sustainable. Because even if I register to the gym today, and probably next month, I'm not sure about getting there, subscription to pay, or I'll not get the time to go, why not have something that I can do in the house? And with technology, things have become easier. When you go to YouTube, there are so many forms of exercises, and I utilize that. So like when I wake up in the morning and I want to do some exercise, I don't have to go to the gym or even go outdoors if it's cold. I do it in my sitting room or in my bedroom. They show you how to do some stretches, they show you different exercises, whether it is cardio or whatever. It's there on YouTube, for example. If I have a smartphone or even my TV, I can put it there and do those stretches and have my 30 to 45 minutes of exercise before I take a shower and come to work. In the evening, I can be deliberate. For example, if I'm driving, or even if I'm not driving, there are modes of transport everywhere nowadays. I don't have to walk. If I want to move from this gate,
point A to point B,
I can get a boda boda, I can get an Uber. You know, nowadays, actually, we don't have to move at all, Linda. And that is the reason why we are becoming very sedentary. So I am deliberate. I go, if I'm driving, I park my car, I've come by matatu or boda boda, I arrive, I change my official clothes, I put on a tracksuit, I decide I'm going to run. I take a run around the place I am in and I come back. That is exercise. So I think let's make it simple. Let's make it simple. Let us make it something that it's possible and practical. That I don't have to say, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. No, even walking is exercise. Skipping rope with your children, playing with your children is still exercise. Physical activity is just moving your body. Or if you're in a building and you are seated like for 2 hours, I decide, let me take up the stairs, up and down. You may not even be going to any specific place. Just decide, I've been seated for so long. Can I just go walk out of this building and take a walk? And it's even very important, apart from your weight loss or fitness, even for your mind and clarity. Sometimes when you sit for too long and you're working, you get headaches, you get bogged down. But I'm telling you, when you go to do exercise, you produce what you call the feel-good hormones, the dopamine and serotonin. So it improves your overall health, it improves your mood. You'll find yourself not having outbursts, shouting at your children when you get home. You know, it improves overall health when actually you have any form of physical activity. So I would really encourage everybody as a daily habit to choose something that you enjoy doing, or something that you can do that is within your means, and actually do it. You will see how it will impact positively on your health for sure.
Still so much to talk about. Time is not on our side. Healthy, you know, the mental aspect of it, you know, maintaining that healthy habit mentally, and also connecting all this that we're talking about, because, you know, exercise has to go hand in hand with what you're eating, and in most cases we go wrong with that. So as we get to wind up on this particular subject, just how best do you balance the two to ensure that you get the best out of it? Because, you know, even if I decide to exercise and say I want to have my tummy, you know, flat, and then I'm eating something that is not right, then again it goes contrary to what I want to achieve. So how do you balance the same?
Okay, that's a very good one. Actually, you'll be surprised. Your fitness is actually 80% your diet, more than even the exercise. The exercise is very important because we need it to for circulation, for your organs, for your clarity, mind clarity and all that. But even if I do what form of exercise and my diet is not healthy, then I'm almost doing nothing. So the two have to go hand in hand together. And when we've talked about diet without repeating too much, is what is on my plate. what is really on my plate? Is it food that is going to nourish my body? Yeah? Is it food that is natural and wholesome?
Right.
Because we are talking about choosing food that is as natural as possible. Yeah? As natural means I'm taking the food the way it came from the farm.
Yeah.
No processing, no canning or packaging. If possible, as much as possible, I take that natural wholesome food and ensure that I'm having food from all the groups. I'm having a carbohydrate, I'm having a protein, I'm having a vegetable, you know, and I'm having my water, you know. If I am having that, then I'm having a healthy diet.
Yeah.
And then now the issue of portioning comes in, although that's a different big topic altogether. I portion that food well, making sure that the vegetable is the biggest amount on my plate. Yeah? Because that's a mistake we make. Half, if you look at the plate, half of the plate is usually the vegetable.
Yeah.
That's a healthy eating. Then we have the other half where I put my protein, whether it's a chicken drumstick, that is one serving of chicken.
Yeah.
And then the other side having a carbohydrate. That's just an example quickly.
Yeah.
So if I'm having that and I'm doing some form of physical activity, at least 30 minutes of physical activity every day, then at least I may have some balance towards my daily healthy habits. But if I'm doing exercise and after that I run and have a pizza or I run and have fries every other day, I'm not saying that we don't have that.
Yes.
There is a day for you to go and do that, because we are not saying that this is bad food, this is good food. But we must speak the truth. When it comes to high calorie food, junk food, those are the foods that you limit. But on a daily habit, on a daily day, from morning to evening, what am I having on my plate? I think that's very crucial. So there must be a balance between the two.
Right.
And before I forget, as a daily healthy habit as we go, we may not talk about all of them. One of the things that we really neglect is sleep. Sleep.
Oh,
yes. As we wind up, Linda, most of us are not sleeping.
Yes.
And when you don't sleep, it actually impacts so negatively on your health. There is even research that has been done. Those people who do not have enough sleep, they have a lot of problems when it comes to their weight loss and fitness. Yeah? Because when you sleep, first of all, you rest. Your body rests and it repairs. You know, your body during the day as you work, it gets tired, it gets worn out. During sleep, that is when your body repairs the worn out cells.
Okay.
You know? When you don't sleep, the next day, any person who has not had at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep as an adult, because children require more hours of sleep, by the way. Those of us who have children at home and we leave them to watch until midnight and 1.
It's wrong.
It is so wrong, and we are impacting negatively, or especially on their brain development. They need to sleep for their brain to continue developing, for their body to be able to continue developing. So the minute I am not sleeping, I'm also impacting negatively on my health. Yes. So we need to ensure that we sleep. And some of the things that are making us not sleep is actually these smartphones and tablets we have. So I'm in bed, but I'm on my phone. That light will keep you awake for the longest time. You get insomnia, you will not sleep.
Wow.
Yes. And
Simple.
the next, something so simple, but people don't think that sleep actually is that important. That's a whole
and sometimes when you don't, honestly, it shows on your face.
It shows on your face.
It shows on your face. Home, thank you so much. Emily Home is a nutritionist and wellness coach. That was great insights, short but precise and clear, straight to the point. Some of these things that we ignore, honestly, are things that we can be able to achieve without any strain. So why don't you take advantage of that and try at least and see whether the next 21 days are going to be healthy for you. Good habits, pretty simple and achievable for your own good. Thank you so much once again for keeping us company. It's time now that we get to wind up this session of Morning Cafes. I look forward to see you again tomorrow. My name is Linda Allen. It was great having you. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Bye-bye.